Brad Garlinghouse drops a bomb, and you have to listen and hear this, guys. The plan is set in motion, and it is going to blow your minds. Let's first start with this clip here. No US Ripple IPO, folks. Wonder why? I have an opinion on this. I'm going to play this, and I'll give you my opinion.
Ripple has officially ruled out initial IPOs in the US. Once again, why is Ripple building all of their partnerships outside of the US? Why are they focused solely on other countries? Doesn't seem that US is on their radar. I wonder why. Because the US dollar is getting ready to collapse, and they know it. Don't ask me why is RLUSD pegged to the US dollar. There's a reason for it. Just trust. For those of you that are not sure what an IPO is, it's an initial public offering.
Good information.
It is when stocks from a private company are made public for the first time. Brad Garlinghouse just spoke about this and cleared the air. He stated at the Korean Blockchain Week on Wednesday that Ripple Labs is not going to pursue an IPO in the US. The unclear regulatory environment is the driving force, which we all are fully aware of. SEC, Gary Gensler.
Yep.
Frankly, they don't even want to mess with any more legal tussle with the SEC and with the government. And not only that,
can you blame
he's
him?
Encouraging other crypto firms aiming to permeate the US market to reconsider, as digital policies are still hazy here. According to him, operating in the country was a ploy to incur more legal bills. So really, he's discouraging US investments at all. Does that go along with BRICS? Oh my gosh, it sure does.
I like this
Interesting.
chick. I like this chick.
Make sure you're here joining me every day.
I like this chick. All right, Ripple's not going to IPO here because the SEC has to approve it. Plus, they're going to want to IPO in an up market. The stock market has set all-time new highs. It's been insane over the last like 2 years. You know what we came back from COVID to where we are now. Can you imagine how bad things were 4 years ago, right? And where we are now? It's pretty much insane. People are still fucking broke. Excuse my French, but you know. Listen, the SEC has until October 6th to file an appeal. I did a video on this. I don't think the SEC is going to appeal. I think they're going to lose if they do, and I don't think they want to use the money. But check this out here. This is like here XRP launched in 2013. XRP price back. Imagine buying XRP back in 2014. Oh my God, I wish I knew about it. I'd have like 1 billion XRP. And then ISO compliant, right? That's coming in this year. All right, controlled, planned, and delivered, right? ISO. This talks about Ripple becomes the standard for international money transfers between banks. Interledger protocol becomes the standard protocol for connecting banks, cash ledgers as part of Ripple's software. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have my face cam on. I do apologize about checking that. So, you know, Ripple's born back here. Bitcoin was invented, and then Ripple was born. R3 Consortium was born. Blockchain attributed ledgers, solutions mature, and all asset exchange networks become interoperable with Interledger protocol. It's all going to run on Ripple. Blockchain solutions, capital markets, and trade finance. R3 Corda, DH Fabric, ILP Java becomes interoperability standard for Hyperledger Foundation projects. It all needs to work together, friends, right? It all needs to be interoperable so value can flow from one network to the other network. And Interledger protocol enables all of that. The internet of value, right? That's why they want to. That's why they want to make a dent in the universe. They're not here to play around. They're not here to make a few dollars. They're here to change the entire system, right? Stay on target, right? This is a letter on September 4th, basically talking about, it says on behalf of the defendant Ripple Labs to request a stay of the monetary portion of the court's judgment entered on August 7, 2024, and ECF number 924. The Plaintiff Securities and Exchange Commission has consented to this request in terms. So just giving them a little bit more time here. I'm not an attorney. If you want to go get some attorney opinions, there's a lot of really amazing, Jeremy Hogan, and there's another one. I forgot his name. I'm sorry, but there's incredibly people. But the Ripple stablecoin is coming over the next few weeks, guys. It's coming here, right? And remember how big the connections are to SBI, and it's coming to Japan. 3 banks in Japan: MUFG, Mizuho, SMBC plan to use the stablecoin for cross-border payments, right? Going live by 2025. And listen, when you have
sort of good news, I guess, for people who have been following what you do, you could be launching your stablecoin a bit faster than most people thought.
Well, we've always been kind of consistent that we're going to do everything we can to launch this year. Everything Ripple does is in conjunction with regulatory approval, licensing, and so a key issue that we will continue to make sure we are partnered with U.S. regulators before we go live with the stablecoin. We'll first issue it, we expect, in the U.S., but we think there's opportunity for stablecoins globally, and certainly Japan, as you, I think, probably know, they approved some legislation a year ago that came into effect this year, and so there's a process underway now to do stablecoins here in Japan as well.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, but when we're...
Okay, how this is all going to work, my friends, is that every bank is going to have their own stablecoin, right? They can launch it on Ripple's network, right? Ripple, okay, so Ripple went from mastering cross-border payments. Then they went into understanding CBDCs and that technology so they can help any country set up their own CBDC. Now they're getting into stablecoins. The reason for this is there's about $50 trillion of paper money or money in banks around the world, right? There's about 21 or 22 trillion right now in the money supply in the US right now, okay? Tokenizing that money and bringing it on to Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, whatever the bank is, they can have their own stablecoin. The reason you do this, right, is because sometimes Chase sends money from Chase in New York to Chase in Australia. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. They're sending money from bank to bank, and it costs a ton of money to do that. But if you're using the XRP ledger and a stable coin on the XRP ledger, like Chase stable coin or Wells Fargo stable coin or whatever it is, it's going to be insanely cheaper to do that. And that's why banks are going to do that. They're going to tokenize all of that value and they're going to move it on, right? Treasuries, US treasuries, there's trillions of dollars in treasuries floating around. Those are all going to wind up on that. And right. And what happens when you move the stock market, right? What happens when the DTCC decides to digitize and move all of those stocks in the settlement on, R3 or on using something like XRP? That is going to happen. I know the DTCC has been working with R3. I know Donald Donahue moved. He used to be the president of the DTCC. He moved to Ripple's board about 6 years ago. There's still some questions about, how all that's going to play out, but you get what I'm saying here. There's not going to be just one winner for all of this, but when this value is interoperable between all of these chains, that's when we truly win. And that's when our XRP is worth all the money. It's not about what the price is today. It's about what the protocol does in the future. It's how it works. That's where the value comes from, right? It's not what me and you are speculating the price of XRP should be today. It's when all of these trillions of dollars of value comes on chain. We are almost to 30,000 subscribers. We're only a few hundred away. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you come, please consider subscribing. I really would appreciate it and love you for that. My birthday's coming up here on the 13th of September. I turned 40. So if I could get to 30,000 before then, I would really, really appreciate it. Make sure you're sharing these videos with your friends if you're learning something and you like my content. I really appreciate that.
The fact that the central banks and the regulators in all of the biggest financial market centers in the world are actively putting in place prudential regulations for stablecoin issuance and operation is a big deal. We're partnering with lawmakers, regulators, central banks to construct the framework that makes these fungible digital currency units work. The same thing is coming in Japan, where they actually have like a foreign currency stablecoin framework and a whole reserve model. So USDC can be reserved for Japanese holders. So basically you're seeing all these governments stand up these frameworks, and it's a really exciting thing because we're building the internet financial system.
As for the partnership with Circle, a US company for stablecoins, we also reached a basic agreement on November 21st of last year. Our group also has a bank, which is the SBI Bank. In addition, electronic payment methods, trading operations, assets under application, high price traders, and all of these things must be in place to do this business. We will be the only company with a significant license to handle stablecoins. Then, Circle, Inc., backed by cash and cash equivalents in the United States, will release USDC, the second most stable coin after USD Tether. We would like to buy, sell, acquire, and do other things with USDC in the form of dollars in Japan, in compliance with Japan's high regulations, and we plan to do this in any case.
So yeah, I got this clip from Encash, I guess. I was floating around Twitter, so big shout out to Encash Nick. He does a lot of hard work in this space. He's a really great guy. I've spoken to him many times. He puts in a lot of hard work. Please go follow his channel. So guys, listen, we know where the future is heading. We know these assets are going to be worth a whole lot more in the future. Just keep educating yourself. Keep staying in front of the information. Keep it to the top of your mind, because over the next 3, 5, 10 years, you could make generational wealth. Generational wealth if you decide and you pick the right companies and the right technologies that are going to be used by central banks and by banks globally. Period. End of story. If you're tired of working on your job, right? If you want to retire and you want to go do all of those things that you've always wished you'd want to do, get educated now. If you want to join my community for 30 days for free, you can do that, right? We have a 11% churn rate, which means that 9 out of 10 people that join our community end up staying because there's hundreds, if not thousands of people in our community that are hungry for information in the crypto space. And we find information before most of the public does. And when you're ahead of the rest of the public, that's how you make money. Gold miners back in the 1800s, right? When the gold rush was happening. If it is in the 1900s, all right. Correct me down in the comments, but I believe it was in the 1800s. The people that made the most money were the people that had the picks and the shovels, not the people that went out and mined gold, right? Right now, picks and shovels are news and information. Stay ahead of the game, and you too, one day, will have generational wealth. Aloha. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for sharing and subscribing and liking my videos. Peace out. Aloha.